So here is a shot on my phone run through of the pedalboard and current setup in terms of things that I'm running with. I have two amps. First of all is this beautiful Music Man 112 RP65, which is one of the only amps to have a built-in phaser from the 1970s. It's a gorgeous Fender style clean amp, and I have it running with a quite heavy bassy middly tone with a less treble and low gain settings. I run it into the low gain input because I want to have a high ceiling. My second amp is a high watt high gain, which again I run on the clean channel because it's got a dirty and clean option. And I run this with high presence, very middly, trebly and bassy setup, because in the rehearsal room where I currently play it's a little bit like that, but I can jack those EQ settings down as is necessary. Just got my Jazzmaster plugged in, and then this runs into a Korg pitch black polytune, and then my main sort of initial stage of gain is a Palisades, which is a gorgeous TS9, and then that runs into a Spit Beach, which is an absolutely repugnant HM2 death metal pedal type of thing. Then we have a Black Rain, which is a Holy Island special, which has got an inbuilt boost, and that goes into an Abracadabra, which is a filthy no knobs fuzz, which kind of does like velcro-y stuff, into a Fuzz War, which I often boost with the Palisades, into a Spectral Fire, and then that goes into a Afterneath. The Afterneath then goes into this phaser here, which kind of modulates the sound really nicely, which is the Sway Spender, and then that goes into the Hazumitas, so you kind of like have that after the initial reverb trails from the Afterneath to give that sort of proper shoegazy wall of noise sound. Into the Small Fracture, which is again a beautiful sort of lo-fi. Actually, no, hold on. Where does that go? Oh no, the Hazumitas goes into the volume pedal. The volume pedal goes into the Fernweh, which is up there. Fernweh goes into Mocking Blur. Mocking Blur is like a so that's 3 delays in one. This is a beautiful modulated delay into the Small Fracture, which again comes after 2 more echo stages, and then after that it goes into the Law up there. And then When the Sun Explodes, which is a beautiful distorted reverb into the Tides, which is, hopefully as people know, is this really lovely dirty reverb pedal. So it's basically a board with mostly gain, a tiny bit of modulation in the middle there, followed by delay, modulated delay, and then more gain, and then dirty reverbs, and that at the end. Trying to figure out the best place to position this so you can hear the best. But basically my clean signal, which I call clean, is I'm running straight into quite a low volume on this amp. You'd have to forgive my phone speaker, but forgive my feet, the bass sound of the pedal board without anything on is this, which is a really nice kind of like quite clean sound. That's just the Tides enabled, which is a plate reverb, but I can boost the gain on that with the input of the foot switch. I don't tend to use that often because it's really quite an intense gain boosted sound. So what I'll do now is I'll run you through a couple of my gain stages that I'd like to use, as well as some of the sounds that I can get out of them. So first of all we have the TS9, which is the Palisades, which gives us a lovely edge, quite a volume bump on this. Palisades by itself. Then we have the Black Rain, which is more brittle sounding. Beach is often used by itself. So that's the main gain portions, which then come before any of the reverbs. So I tend to put the space bender on in terms of like the opening of a song called Anodyne. Which sounds very strange because I've got no reverbs on after it or preceding. So I tend to have as a key sound is something like this. Often do is stack the Hazumatas after one of the delays, which sounds like this. Thing, which is quite key to Forget Regret Regrets, which is my band's sound. So another tone that I like to use is washing blur into small fracture, which is this. Proper wall of sound. Then I have the When the Sun Explodes, which is a dirty reverb in itself, so it has a small gain portion, which I think is a beautiful sounding thing. no delay. We've got the law on, which is the soundscape generator, which is that really intense reverse reverb. But the last sound that I don't tend to use too much is that boosted gain on the tides. That is a rundown of my pedalboard. I hope that was fairly interesting for you.